Keith and the Taiko Ensemble. Graduates, faculty, staff, trustees, friends and family, welcome. Welcome to our 51st commencement ceremony for the class of 2025. I'm Brian Harlan, and I'm the provost here, and I want to just get started with just a little bit of history. You like that? Okay. So you may not know that when Nellie Cornish first had the idea of opening a school for the arts, that she didn't get a lot of support, and people basically tried to talk her out of it. And Nellie had a sort of a chaotic childhood. She moved around a lot. Her mother was sickly, and her father was kind of a character. He was this kind of guy that practiced law without a license, opened a bank without any money, and so he was a real go-getter. And Nellie, because of this chaotic moving around to pioneer towns, and one time Nellie saw a shootout and somebody get killed, and it was kind of wild background. But because of this chaotic background, she didn't really have a formal education, and that always made her feel a little bit inadequate and a little self-conscious about that. And so she struggled with that. And she did study piano and was good at it, and realized that she could make money at it, and was very enterprising, and started teaching piano. Sometimes she would trade piano lessons for things like rent or even food or services, but she struggled with it. But she got by. After her mother died, her father got remarried, and she didn't really get along with a stepmother, and so there was a little bit of an estrangement in terms of the family. But at one point, her father offered to take her to Europe, and that was a lifelong dream for Nellie, to be able to go to Europe, to this place where all the music that she studied, had emerged from. And she got really excited, and she shut down some of her studio work and went to where he was living. I think it was in California. And but then, just as they were about to go, war broke out, and so they had to cancel their plans. So she went back to her studio, and then maybe a year or so later, her father decided to run for district attorney, and he said, "Can you come down and help me with a campaign? And if I win, I'll take you to New York for 2 years." So she got really excited about that. She wanted to go to New York. She came down and helped him with a campaign, and then I'm not sure what his platform was, but he lost. So this series of events and her own kind of frustrations with her what she felt was enough knowledge to really pursue what she really wanted to do, led her to a kind of a crisis. And at that time, she decided, this may not be known to everyone, but she decided to drop out of society and change her name and just pursue a totally different career. She wasn't going to teach piano anymore. She was going to do something else, stenography or whatever people did at that time. And she moved to where else? Salt Lake City, and rented a room with a fake name. And she was there, and actually one of her friends found out about this and got really upset and said, this can't be, you can't do this, you need to go to therapy. But at the turn of the 20th century, we didn't really have therapy at that time. So, Sigmund Freud he's still inventing theories by stealing ideas from Shakespeare at that point in time. So there wasn't really therapy as we know it today. So where do you go in Salt Lake City for psychological counseling in around 1914? You go to a Christian Science practitioner. And that's what she did. So she went to a Christian Science practitioner, and some of these people actually did hypnosis and stuff, but this one did not. And it was more of a kind of a talk therapy as we might know it today. And she found it very helpful. And she started to feel progress after a few sessions, and she started feeling like letting out her thoughts and her insecurities was really helpful. And then he gave her this book of Mary Baker Eddy's Science and Health, which is a foundational text for Christian Science. And she read the whole thing. It was like 500 pages, stayed up all night. And it wasn't really the ideas in the book, but it was the accomplishment of it. The accomplishment of Mary Baker Eddy writing this book that became a foundational text in a religion. And she started to realize, she had an epiphany when she woke up in the morning. She started to realize that people become great by doing great things, and they're not born great, and that she could do great things, and that she knew exactly what she wanted to do. And at that moment, she didn't want to be a piano teacher anymore. She wanted to open a school of the arts. And she went back to Seattle, and as I said, nobody thought it was a good idea. But no one could stop her at that point. She borrowed money, rented a space, hired faculty, and she went on to establish the school. And we're standing here, or sitting, 111 years later, based on the vision and creativity and entrepreneurship that Nellie had. And as we're contemplating the next stage of our evolution as a college, I want to leave you with this one quote that Nellie said that I love, and it is, "The Cornish party lives on." And that is Nellie Cornish. So welcome, and I'm now very pleased to introduce to you somebody that is very special in the Cornish community. She is a concert classical clarinetist, a novelist, a magazine editor, a film producer, a deal maker for sure, and a former hockey player / marine biologist, and she's a mother, a wife, and my friend, ladies and gentlemen, the hardest working president in higher education, Emily Parkhurst.
Thank you for that. Thank you so much, Brian, and I'm thrilled to be here. We've got a little video to share with you today, so I want to take a minute before I get started to share that. So go ahead, guys.
To everyone who has walked these halls, to everyone who has shed skin in these rooms, caught the sickness of each season, wept and screamed into these walls, slept in strange and/or reasonable crevices, and shared a thoughtful smile with a familiar stranger amongst the ever-growing and changing sea of artists. To all of you, all here and all who will accept, thank you. I love you. A sentiment for those who know me, knew me, and those who don't, and maybe never will. Thank you. I cannot tell you to your face, because it will never mean enough. It will not sit with you correctly. But here on this page, as you read it to yourself, in the safety of your mind and body and soul, thank you. I love you.
I love you for taking this leap, for putting yourself out there. I love you for being here and every day choosing to give a piece of yourself in some way to us and to the world. I love you for defying the inevitable voice that told you it wasn't worth it, because you know they were wrong, and every day you endure and endure the chaotic world because you know deep down inside that this, being here in this moment and doing what you're doing, is worth it. I love you, and thank you, for in your own way, without ever knowing it, help me do it too. Thank you for fighting for what you believe in.
This world, this place, these people, and our own selves, none of it is or will ever be perfect. But still we march on. Still we grab our pencils and pens, our scripts and our instrument, our dance shoes, our costumes, our clown noses. We grab our saws and hammers, our cameras and paintbrushes. We grab anything and everything, and we create worlds. Every day we wake up and we imagine and build and bring to life universes. We know what it is to be human. And I love you, and I love us for that.
Edward Chernotsky, a member of the 2025 graduating class and part of the Cornish inclusion team, and here to give you the land acknowledgement. I recognize that we stand on the unceded lands of the Duwamish, Squamish, and Muckleshoot nations, the indigenous peoples whose cultures and care have shaped this region long before our arrival and continue to do so today. I honor their enduring presence, stewardship, and contributions even as their rights, lands, and voices have been historically denied and diminished. I also acknowledge the broader community of coastal Salish peoples who have lived in and around what is now Seattle, including the Snoqualmie, Tulalip peoples. I recognize and celebrate the indigenous students, artists, and community members who are part of the Cornish community today and who carry forward vital cultural traditions, creative practices, and leadership. I also acknowledge the legacy of slavery in the United States. The labor and the lives of Black people were stolen and exploited to build wealth and power in this country. I recognize the continued harm experienced by Black, Indigenous, Latinx, Asian, Pacific Islander, and other communities of color through systemic racism, including inaccess to education, healthcare, and economic opportunity through mass incarceration, police violence, displacement, and more. I also call attention to ongoing land-based conflicts that have led to atrocities across the world, from Ukraine to Sudan, and let us remember the resilience of the Palestinian people who are fighting for their freedom and existence. The suffering and oppression of the people of these regions is a profound injustice that requires all of us to pay attention and act. Tonight, as we come together for art and community, let's commit to action. One way we can give back is by supporting Queer the Land, an organization working to return land to Indigenous communities while uplifting Two-Spirit and LGBTQI voices. Two incredible organizations committed to supporting the Palestinian people are Human Concern International and All Cause. Please, like I said earlier, donate to their work or visit their website to find other ways to help. Please, every contribution matters. If you have the money, please donate. Every bit helps restore justice to the people, those who belong to the land, those marginalized on it, and those who continue to fight for the right to live freely and with dignity. The Cornish Inclusion Team has a table in the foyer with QR codes to various charities we've identified as crucial supports for marginalized peoples. Please visit our table after graduation if you have not already done so.
All right. Well, this is a special day for Cornish. I'm so excited to be here. Commencement is always a special day, and there's nothing more exciting than graduating a fresh group of artists out into the world, and we're excited to do that. As the college shifts toward a new horizon, we will look back at the people who have made this such a special place and those who fought to get us to this point. We also look forward to the bright future and the promise of bigger things to come. And that's what this year's graduating class represents. Many of these students began their journey just as we emerged from the pandemic, when the future was uncertain and the new normal was unclear. But they not only survived, they thrived. Now they herald a bright future where they will bring innovations and new ideas and new art into the world. These students experienced unprecedented times and found a way through. As we all face challenges around us, we can look to them for inspiration and a guiding light through the dark times. They represent hope for the future and a path forward, and that hope is worth fighting for. That's what we've been doing over this last year. We looked toward the future and saw a variety of paths ahead, each a little different, each with their hills to climb. Our aim was to find the widest path, the one that would allow us all to walk together. It has definitely had its hills. There are no hill-free paths in Seattle. But they've been well worth the climb. And now as we sit here at the precipice, we know that we chose well. Our future partners will help us usher in an exciting future where Cornish's unique brand of education and artistic expression can continue for generations to come. This graduating class is special in many ways, but they will be particularly unique in being the last class to graduate from an independent Cornish College of the Arts. And that means they represent both the past and the future for all of us. I think everyone in the room would agree Cornish is a special place. This 111-year-old institution is more than a group of buildings, it's more than a list of majors, more than a collection of equipment. This is a place where everyone gets to be themselves, where artistic expression is not only valued, it's part of the curriculum. It's where artists find their voices and figure out how to reflect back to the world what they see through their artistic vision. It's also a place to be loud, to experiment, to take risks, to fail, and then to try again. That has never been more important. We need our artists to be loud right now, to take risks and show us the path forward. We need them to reflect the light and the dark, to help us see what's right in front of us but just out of reach, and to help us bend the arc of history toward justice. We've given them a very heavy weight to carry. The world they are inheriting is divided, where algorithms seek to stoke anger and fear, and where the powerful prey on the vulnerable, where leaders put their egos first and leave the consequences for those who come behind them. It will take creativity and vision to escape that doom loop. The cliche of the solo artist is a myth. Artists need us. They need each other. They need support and love and inspiration. They need people to fight for them while they're out fighting for the world. No doubt, if you are here today, you are already committed to supporting artists. Likely you've supported them in many ways, probably some financial ways, I'm sure. Also some emotional support, some encouragement. You've gone to recitals, performances, gallery shows, bought equipment, instruments, shoes, paint, and probably even some strange objects you had no idea would be turned into art. You've helped them get here, and you will help them get to their next step as well. Because if we've learned anything from the last 5 years, it's that we're only as strong as our community. A resilient community can survive nearly anything, and this artistic community is strong. We can make it more resilient by supporting each other in whatever ways we can. Deciding to study art is easy. Becoming an artist is hard, and you never stop becoming an artist. It's not like you take a test and then you're certified. There's no bar exam, no official state-issued license. There's a reason they call you a practicing artist. You never really stop practicing. The art of practice is a muscle that will be built over time, but once it's strong, it will serve you well for the rest of your life. Discipline and focus, intention and exploration. Those are what go into an artist's practice, and the more artists we have practicing, the more resilient our community. This is a time for our communities to come together and cut a new path forward through the wilderness. There are more hills to climb ahead of us than behind, and this is the vanguard. Let's make sure we're right there behind these graduates, ready to provide them a helping hand if they slip, and let's get out of the way and see where they lead us. Congratulations, class of 2025. May your path open up before you in new and surprising ways, and may you bring as many of us along on your journey as you can. All right, with that, Ryan.
Hi, everybody. Okay, so graduates, I'm going to ask you to do something, but just a few more boring words real quick. As educators, we think a lot about what it takes to help students like yourselves persist all the way through graduation. And it's actually quite of a complicated problem, and there's a lot of research on it because it is such a complicated phenomenon of helping someone, helping students across 4 years to actually stay connected to what their goals are. And what the research says is that there are 3 things that you all have experienced and that you need. One, obviously, your own talent and dedication. You have to pass your classes and make good art, which you obviously have done. That's the obvious thing. The other thing is that you need support from family and friends. This is what the research says. All these people, literally and figuratively behind you, have helped you to get to this point where you are. The third thing that this research suggests is that typically students who graduate on time have been able to connect with somebody at the institution that they're at in a way that makes them feel seen and heard and understood. And I'd ask you to think back for a moment about the people that have been there for you at Cornish, And they might be, often it's a faculty member, but it can also be a staff member. It could be someone in the registrar's office, someone in student life. It could be someone in the cafe. But there's somebody that you connected with. And I ask you to think back for a moment who those people might have been. And join me, and actually, if you can stand up, and let's congratulate our staff and faculty for a second and give them a round of applause. Okay, thank you. And now, speaking of amazing staff, I now want to introduce you to our Assistant Dean of Student Life, Caitlin Valance.
Am I supposed to speak now? All right, thank you for the music, and thank you, Provost Harlan, so much. It's an honor to join the graduating class for the last Cornish College of the Arts, period, graduation. And it is also an honor to present the Cornish Student Leadership Award, an award given to an outstanding graduating senior who has made extraordinary contributions to the Cornish community during their 4 years here. It is with deep appreciation and heartfelt admiration that I present this year's Cornish Student Leadership Award to Freddie Andres Pasante Castro. I knew that would be a long one. I have a few words about you, Freddie Andres, before you join me on stage. Freddie Andres' leadership journey at Cornish began the moment he stepped onto campus as the first-year representative in the Cornish Student Senate. Over the next 4 years, and especially during his 2 terms as chair, Freddie Andres didn't just serve, he transformed what student leadership could mean on this campus. He has been a tireless advocate for transparency, for communication, and for holding administration accountable to delivering the kind of student experience every Cornish student deserves. He spoke truth to power, not for recognition, but because he believed in building bridges between students and the systems that impact their lives. Freddie Andres is also a musician, and his leadership moves with the same spirit, improvisational, deeply expressive, and rooted in listening. He leads like someone who knows how to hold the silence before the downbeat, how to riff off others while staying true to his own voice, and how to find freedom within structure. His approach is never rigid, it's responsive. It's about creating space for others to solo, shifting with the rhythm of the moment, and trusting that even in dissonance, something beautiful can emerge. In every meeting, every conversation, he brought that same instinct to stay present, to stay open, and find harmony. Among his many contributions, Freddie Andres worked closely with the advancement team to establish the Sevilla Fort Scholarship Fund, an initiative rooted in justice, named for a trailblazing Black alumna, and designed to support future generations of Cornish students. The tremendous effort he put into the creation of this fund truly reflects his belief in equity, access, and the power of student voice to shape a better future. Freddie Andres, thank you for your courage, for your care, and your unwavering commitment to this community. You leave behind not just a legacy, but a standard, and I'm proud to now call you my friend. Please join me on stage.
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. Thank you so much for being here and supporting us. I'll just take a moment of y'all's time. It has been my greatest pleasure and honor to be an artist among the rest of y'all, and I'm so grateful to be awarded this. Thank you so much, Kaylin. Thank you so much to the rest of the administration. And congratulations to you all. I am here because I was voted in. I was voted in 4 times in a row. I've been chair, I've been your representative, and I'm so grateful that I was able to be there for you when it felt like no one else could be. So thank you for your time and your trust, and congratulations to you all.
Thank you, Freddie Andres. It's also my pleasure to introduce to the stage in a moment another incredible student leader, your senior class speaker, Cage Weiss. Cage is graduating with honors and is a member of the Phi Eta Sigma National Honor Society. They are this year's Presser Scholar, an award given to one outstanding senior in the music department each year. Cage is also active in the greater arts community. Cage is the band leader for the folk rock project Wiseacre and completed an artist residency at Hambidge Center for Creative Arts and Sciences. Beyond the stage, Cage has been a vital part of campus life, serving as a peer mentor and one of the founding members of The Coop, Cornish student-run radio station. Please join me in welcoming your senior class speaker, Cage Weiss.
Thank you, everybody. When I arrived to Cornish, I had a singular idea walking in on my first day. Keep your head down and get your degree, period. Well, that's two ideas, but I digress. Looking back, I laugh at my uncharacteristically cold point of view. Part of me was, and still is, that queer little kid who was bullied and berated on the playground. And when I came to Cornish, I feared I would be excluded and go unrecognized. To my surprise, of course, I was fully supported in my vision and made friends along the way. Not only did I make friends, I found community. In all of you. I found people who shared the same values as me, who loved me, who respected me. I found that that bullied little kid had a massive new friend group of equally strange, forward-thinking, intelligent, talented, and artistic individuals. Together, we've collaborated on installations and poetry, video games and voice acting, dance and music, just to name a few, of course. We've angrily cursed the printers, poured blood, sweat, and tears into compositions and scripts, and stayed up all night in MCC getting our midterms done. And I'd like to take a moment to thank the true hero of all of us, Lo-Fi Girl from Lo-Fi Beats to Study, too. In all seriousness, the true heroes are the ones who made our curriculum and who showed up for us every day, our teachers and staff. Thank you. Now, as we leave behind the buildings and the incredible faculty who carried us through our college years and taught us invaluable information and life lessons, everyone keeps asking us, what's next? Where can I find you? Well, you will find us in the gallery, on the stage, on the screen, and on the picket line. In the rafters, in the green room, behind the scenes, behind the camera, holding the boom mic. You will find us peering through the lens, capturing your beauty, sewing a garment in the costume shop. You will see us dancing, doing durational performance art, and evoking deep-seated emotions. We will sing you to sleep, play at your weddings, play at your funerals. We will be tagging in the night, running from one showing to the next, praying that the 8 will get us there in time. Everywhere you look, you will see our designs on the walls, in the walls themselves, and even in the chairs you're sitting on. We will push through every block and every fear because we know this. We create magic. Art is the lifeblood of humanity, and we are the beating heart. The world needs our art, our truth, more than ever. Our creations bring in a new reality. So, when we traverse through the valley of the shadow of death, move through the passage of our deepest and darkest moments, know this: there is a reprieve and a light at the end of the tunnel. We will create it, and we will call it in. That is why we do this, to bring change, to listen deeply when seemingly no one else has, to connect, to reveal hidden and sometimes dark truths, and create the beautiful future we all long to see. We will not turn away from what is ahead of us. We will face it head on. You will find us, and our art will find you. May we continue to move through this world together, no matter how far we are from one another. You all contain multitudes. You are all beyond capable. You are amazing. Everyone deserves a chance to fly. Live your truth. Be exactly who you are. And with that, class of 2025, I congratulate us all. We did it.
I just wanna hear you Wait a minute, get dressed. Y'all can't play.
That was amazing, right? Another round of applause. Woo! Thank you, big thank you to choreographer Amy O'Neill, who is also a Cornish alumna, and to our performers, who were just fantastic. That was amazing. So now we're going to present this year's honorary doctorates to two wonderful Seattle artists. Before we do, I want to tell you a little bit about the actual award that they are receiving. I'm going to grab it here. Big. So I'm holding this up because I want to draw some attention to this. This award itself is a work of art. It was designed and created by our Cornish fabrication studio technician, Corey Skillman. And yeah. So here's what Corey told me a little bit about her design. This piece strives to recognize the work of Nancy Mee and Dennis Evans. It takes traditional and technological aspects of sculpture and blends them to create something new and exciting. It's sporting blue stained pine, African mahogany, and saples stacked in ascending quarter-scale increments. The wood is a representation of three-quarter time music signature and an homage to the geometry explored by Dennis. The font in which the award is written is also a nod to Dennis's Reliquaries work, and the delicate blues and greens in the top cast acrylic represent the cast glass used by Nancy in such beautiful works as Calliope Venus, and are stacked to make the light dance. So when you see that through the light, it really does. The steel side supports mirror the balance Nancy strikes in materiality across all of her works. And finally, the award itself is actually two separate pieces that come together to create the whole, which is pretty cool. It was an honor, Corey says, to design and build this piece. So I wanted to share that with you because there's nothing at Cornish that isn't artistic. I know Nancy and Dennis are fond of proverbs, so we selected a quote by a Trappist monk and author, Thomas Merton, to be engraved on the award. It says, "What can we gain by sailing to the moon if we're not able to cross the abyss that separates us from ourselves?" It feels particularly poignant at this moment. With that, I'd like to invite our board chair, Linda Koa, and our board vice chair, Mary Ann Francis, to the podium to say a few words about Nancy and Dennis. So this is the part that you have to read at the end when you're ready.
Got it. So this is yours. Okay, great. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mary Ann Francis, and I'm a graduate of Cornish College of the Arts and have had the privilege of serving as a trustee for the past 18 years. Today is a very special day for me because I have the privilege of presenting an honorary doctorate to each of my friends. It just makes me cry, I'm sorry. Of 56 years. Nancy, me, and Dennis Evans. I'll pull it together here. In September of 1969, I sat on the steps of a building at the University of Washington where we were freshmen, and a very pretty girl in a pink gingham raincoat named Nancy Mee was sitting next to me. We were both freshmen. We knew no one, and we formed a friendship that has lasted for 56 years. Nancy, darling girl that she is, had a Women's Wear Daily, which is a rag paper for the fashion trade, under her arm, and declared she was going to be a fashion designer, and I told her I was going to be an artist. And I went on to work in the fashion industry for 25 years, and then came to Cornish. And Nancy diligently painted, made prints, and eventually received an invitation to Pilchuck Glass, where she had a life-changing experience as she pioneered new ways to slump glass and transform it into her magnificent sculptures that challenged all those that preceded her in the art glass world. Her work is in galleries and museums all over the world, and her heart is as big as her work as she gives and gives to her colleagues and her community. Dennis made his debut in our early years of college, and he and Nancy became partners of the heart and eventually collaborators of the first order. In case you don't know, Nancy and Dennis have been married for over 50 years. Yeah. Dennis's path to making art had more twists and turns as he served in the Marines during the Vietnam War and then eventually attended the University of Washington in ceramics. His MFA led to him to instrument making and Fluxus-like performances, check your art history, that put him in People magazine. His 4 years of pre-med chemistry opened the doors of the cosmos to Dennis, and he continues to address the nature of the universe through his dimensional paintings, exploring the sources of all things. Dennis functioned as artistic director of their street in Seattle. He planted 2 city blocks of cherry blossom trees 30 years ago and is known as Chief Thunderplum to his neighbors and functions as honorary mayor of the beloved self-designated neighborhood Utopian Heights. And you can tell by Dennis's serious headdress how serious he is. His work is shown in galleries and museums all over the world. His famed instruments have a home in the Museum of Modern Art. Both Nancy and Dennis have engaged in decades of community service in so many forms. Dennis taught art at the Bush School for 17 years and has legions of devoted former students and collectors. Nancy is a member of ARCS, a foundation dedicated to advancing science in the United States. She received the ARCS Light Award, recognized for providing the highest quality of longtime service to her chapter. And now it is my great honor to present to both Nancy and Dennis each an honorary doctorate from Cornish College of the Arts in acknowledgement of their contribution to the cultural fabric of our region and nation. Congratulations to you both.
Congratulations, Dennis and Nancy. Therefore, according to the authority granted by the Charter and accreditation, which is vested in the Board of Trustees, on behalf of Cornish College of the Arts, I now confer the Honorary Doctorate of Fine Arts, I'm going to mess this pronunciation, honoris causa, with all the rights and privileges thereunto appertaining. Congratulations.
We've been doing this for 50 years, and I'm sitting looking at you wonderful young artists, and I want to tell you what you have to look forward to. Right now, you have red flat hats on, and if you make it 50 years, you'll be free, and you'll be able to do anything you want.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Good. I just want to thank my dearest friend, Marianne Sorge Francis. She had me crying right after I finished crying with the beautiful dancers. My God, so much talent up here and so much talent in the room. It's really humbling for us. When we got notified about this award from Cornish, this beautiful Seattle institution for 111 years, we were extremely honored and frankly a bit overwhelmed. There has never been a more joyful evening when we were given that news. We would like to thank the Cornish community for bestowing this life-changing honor on us. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Truly, thank you. A few weeks ago, we were asked to give a nice, long presentation to our Northwest community. Our preparation for this speech or this lecture gave us a wonderful opportunity to reflect on our 50-year relationship as two artists, sharing the long arc of a creative life with our fellow artists and our beloved broader arts community of the Northwest. Today, we have a few minutes to say something specific to you, you young graduates, embarking on your own long arc of the creative life.
So we were told that when you give a speech, you should ask a question of your audience to get their attention. So I have a few words I want to ask you. How does it feel to be on your own with no direction known? Like a complete unknown, like a rolling stone. You are now rolling stones, young ones. In 1965, Bob Dylan wrote those words. Some of you may have recognized those. And 51 years later, he was given the Nobel Prize in Literature for his writing. You have a chance. So you're embarking on this artist's life. You're no longer students, except I want to tell you a story. When I was a graduate student in 1975, I had a famous art history graduate advisor. He was the advisor to Christo, the guy that wrapped buildings. And the day of our seminar, Picasso had died. And he asked, there were only 8 of us in the seminar, and he said, I want you each to stand up and tell me what Picasso meant to you. So I was a bushy-haired, big-bearded young student, and I stood up and I said, well, as an artist, and Jan Vandermark, that was his name, said, uh-oh, wait a minute, Dennis. You're not an artist. You're a student. He said, you might become an artist, but that will be up to you. So I want to tell you, young artists, it's up to you. You can make the difference in your heart and in your life, but it's a lot of work. So we've got some little pieces of advice for you from 50 years of our veteran life. Remember, you have chosen a very hard yet wonderful vocation for your life's work. So here's some very brief things. I'm going to sound like your dad.
Or mom.
Or mom.
God.
Work hard. Don't rely on luck. However, the harder you work, the luckier you'll get.
This is my favorite one I tell all young people, is live below your means. Debt will kill you. It will not only kill your spirit, it will kill your drive, it will kill your ambition, and it will rob you of all the other chances that you can have leading a more free life.
You know this already, but it's critical to success. Find your own voice. It takes time, and you must be patient. It will come to you if you work hard. But once you find your voice, the doors of your profession will open for you.
This is actually 2. I insisted on the second one. Dennis doesn't like it, but I really do. The first one is be disciplined. You already have that structure in your life, but it's much harder to be disciplined when no one is telling you what to do, when to do it, how to do it, and most of all, have a place to do it. So be disciplined to pursue the rigors you have developed here. My second one is, everyone laughs at me, but I think it is more poetic than it sounds. Don't buy a dog. Borrow a friend's dog. Take your elderly neighbor's dog walking. Invite your dog in to sit on the couch and eat popcorn with you, but don't buy a dog. Wait.
And then the dog
will eat your couch.
Will eat your couch. So listen. It's one of the harder things to do in this world where we're just battered with information. But listen, and listen to your heart and your intuition. And listen carefully and then trust that.
This is something that's guided our life, most of our professional life, is do not read your reviews.
True.
True. If it's a good review, you get a big fat head and think you're wonderful. If it's a bad review, you crawl into bed for a month. So find someone you trust, someone who has actually a little knowledge about what you're doing, and listen to them. The next one, I guess I'm doing out of turn right here. Pick your partner very carefully, your partner in life. I mean, not just your business partner, but your person you want to spend your life with, or at least part of it. The road you're about to travel is fraught with challenges. You need someone who understands your life and is willing to support you in the sacrifices that you are asking them to make with you. And oftentimes, it's all wonderfully romantic at first to be in love with an artist or whatever, but it gets really, really thin about 15 years into it when you still haven't been able to contribute to the rent. So choose very carefully.
So this is the model of our studio. We work together, and we have worked together for 50 years, and we learned a powerful thing from a scientist, Albert Einstein. He said, imagination is more powerful than knowledge. It's the motto of our studio, and it is so true. The power that you have to imagine is often more powerful than all sorts of other people. So use your imagination, trust it, and it will take you for miles. And so the two of us who have transformed from flat-headed, crowned things like you have to these things, and it takes time, we wish you the best of luck. And I want to use another quote from one of my heroes, Bob Dylan, which he used when he picked up his Nobel Prize. That's why I'm dressed like this today. I thought this was my artist Nobel Prize. So he said, it's a quote from Homer. Sing in me, O muse, and through me tell the story. That's your job. Congratulations.
Thank you both. That was amazing. Thank you both. The Cornish College Board of Trustees unanimously approved awarding the honorary doctorate to these two outstanding Seattle community members for their extraordinary contributions to the arts through advocacy and leadership for the arts and cultural sector. As you may know, Nancy and Dennis have bequeathed their entire art collection, which is hundreds of pieces of a lot of Northwest artists, to Seattle University for inclusion on their campus and in the museum that's going to be going there. So thank you all for all of your leadership and everything you've done for the Seattle arts community. I think with that, Brian, you're up.
Okay, at this time, I'd like to ask the chairs to enter the stage over here. And
when you wish upon a star, makes no difference who you are. Anything your heart desires will come to you.
All right, good afternoon again. I'm James Falzoni. I'm the Dean and the Professor of Music here. And I do feel like my hat game is not nearly as good as our previous speakers, but I have the great honor of presenting the graduates. Would the candidates for a BFA in animation please rise? In addition to reading their names, I'll also be reading academic honors where appropriate. Receiving a BFA in animation is Molly Burke, graduating magna cum laude. Austin Michael Patrick Burnett. Edward Zarnacki. Saturnina Tepesh Larazabal Cruz. Stella McFadden. And Olivia Milton, graduating cum laude. Will the candidates for a BFA in art please rise? Nora Allen. Caitlin Hamiles. Candy Cortez, graduating magna cum laude. Kelsey McGonigal. McMonigal, forgive me, thank you. Sabrina Pedersen. Zoe Potter, graduating summa cum laude. Anakin Safan, graduating cum laude. And Ashley Sperry. Will the candidates in dance please rise? Sophia Rose Bunell, graduating magna cum laude. Marlo Ann Nettle. Talia Alana Rose. Sylvia Schatz Allison. Emma Sumanawira, graduating cum laude. And Angela Yee. Will the candidates for a BFA in Design please rise? Spoons Bradshaw. Sophia Farr. Itzel Garcia, graduating summa cum laude. Robin Henry. Natalie Rosenstrom. Zoe Sloan, graduating summa cum laude. And Jackson Wong, graduating summa cum laude. Will the candidates for a BFA in Film please rise? Isaiah Duzico, graduating summa cum laude. Daniel Ibarra. Alexander Namushin, graduating cum laude. Ruby Parrish. Caleb Ross. And Milo Wentz. Will the candidates for a BFA in Game Art please rise? Ariel Johnson, graduating summa cum laude. And Mariah Pekacek, graduating summa cum laude. Will the candidates for a BFA in Illustration and Interaction Design please rise? Blake Alois Bierman Schuler, graduating cum laude. Jillian Grace Bird, graduating summa cum laude. Molly Cowles, graduating cum laude. Aurora De Luna. Naday Khan, graduating summa cum laude. Samantha Michelle Mesa. Xavier Rodriguez, graduating cum laude. Emily Stoddard, graduating summa cum laude. And forgive me, is our student who is graduating with a BFA in Interaction Design in the house? There you are, great. Fantastic. Graduating with a BFA in Interaction Design is Kayla Baxter, summa cum laude. Will the candidates for a Bachelor of Music please rise? Hayden Douglas. Diana Faye Eford. Alexander Ford, graduating summa cum laude. Wei Jun Wong, graduating magna cum laude. Arati Karandreas, graduating magna cum laude. Naya of Eldrion, graduating magna cum laude. Oliver Pusheimer, Oliver Pusheimer. Freddie Andreas Pazante Castro. Cage Weiss, graduating summa cum laude. And Madeline Wood. Will the candidates for a BFA in musical theater please rise? Kendall Butin. Will Ehrlich. Jillian Green. Adna Palic. And Olivia Schaefer, graduating magna cum laude. Will the candidates for a BFA in performance production please rise? Ethan Marcotte. Tony Reinhardt. And Olivia Berkeley Spreen, graduating summa cum laude. Will the candidates for a BFA in Theater Original Works please rise? Madeline Beckner. Emma Chang, graduating magna cum laude. Riley J. Ellis, graduating magna cum laude. Mario Espinosa Hernandez. Brianna Ruth Finley. Daniel Haskey. M. Majewski, graduating cum laude. Brandon Placentia. Patrick Powell. Ashlyn Santiago. And Elijah Teplitsky. Congratulations to all of our graduates. You're still candidates. You'll be conferred in just a moment, but congratulations. And thank you to all of our chairs and program leads. One of the great traditions of a commencement ceremony is an alumni speaker, someone who's a little further on the path, who went through the same rigors that you did, and is now out in the world making their work. After a faculty selection process, Aidan Sakakini, an art graduate from 2019, was selected. Aidan is an artist and fashion designer working within the realms of bespoke suiting and illustration. Based in Seattle, though raised in the UK, his art practice is heavily influenced by live music, fashion, and architecture. He continues to hone a style of drawing and using ink and watercolor to document the intersection of creative events and everyday life. On a personal note, I got to know Aidan as an artist in the community before I ever knew that he was a Cornish grad. And we were hanging out one day and I thought, what an amazing guy and just really inspiring. And then he said he was going to a gallery show for a former teacher of his, some artist named Bob Campbell. And I said, my goodness, you must have been at Cornish. And that made a lot of sense for what a special person and artist he is. So Aidan Sakakini.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you, James, for the lovely introduction. And it is incredibly inspiring to see so much talent paraded across the stage. Incredible. It was not that long ago that I was doing exactly this. 2019 seems like a long time ago. But my role in all of this is to just try and give a little bit more context to the years that are to come. I'm not going to be able to touch on nearly the amount of wisdom that we just heard about from 50 years plus. But I'll do a good job for the next 5 at the least. I'll try. So I came to Cornish from the UK in 2019. I studied in the fine art department, quickly became quite obsessed with printmaking specifically. And I chose Cornish because my grandma lives in Tacoma. I had visited Washington quite a lot. I was born in the US, but in comparison to London, which of course has an incredibly rich creative industry and certainly art schools, Seattle and Cornish seemed like somewhere where you could make your own waves a little bit more. Ultimately a smaller city, but with a rich creative history. And that certainly has rung true in my entire experience. It'll be 10 years in September that I've been here, which is far longer than I ever anticipated being here. But in my experience, it's quite a hard city to leave if you can figure out how to be here in the first place. And part of that begins with this community. That is the privilege of being able to go to university. You're embedded with a community, and that's a huge thing to lean on. But to speak a little bit more to how my career has progressed, I've started in printmaking. Of course, it crosses over into fashion quite a lot, but never did I anticipate working in the fashion industry. And now I'm the head of sales and design at a bespoke tailor, as previously mentioned, down in Pioneer Square. It's a small creative team of 12 of us. I run the design process, or the design team, and we take people through the process of having custom suits made for them, which is incredibly creative, but certainly left of center, and ultimately a sales environment too. But it's become incredibly rewarding as a time where I have the blessed opportunity to take people through the process of having something made for them, which is often for a very special occasion, or at the least the first time someone has worn something that makes them feel like themselves. But ultimately the point of that is that I had no idea that I was going to end up working in this scenario. So as I graduated, I was working as a stylist at a much smaller boutique with, it was all secondhand menswear for all was the whole goal. And then I met this tailor who worked next door. And as you graduate, the BFA, or this feels as it should, like a pinnacle. It's likely the biggest thing that we've all achieved up until this point. And when I was in that exact moment, I felt like I was supposed to have everything set, like I was really supposed to. I'd worked really hard for 4 years to figure out what on earth I wanted to do. And it feels like you're supposed to know what's coming next. And the reality of that is, of course, the pandemic comes around in 2020, but even without that, it takes years for the dust to settle from this experience, I think, and that's not something to run from at all. You've spent so long just really honing in what you're passionate about and crafting your skills. But now is the time to dive into the wider world around you. Yes, you're not going to have access to all the beautiful spaces that you've had so far, but you're going to find new places, new people, and new community. And that's what's really to run for. And that's what helps you figure out what on earth you're supposed to do next. I got to where I'm at the moment, which is, I'm very young in this career. Who knows what I'll be doing in the next few years? And that flexibility is important. But you figure these things out by maintaining the community around you, asking questions, showing up in spaces that you think are interesting, and trying to, offer your skills, asking questions to people that are several steps ahead of you. And that's ultimately the main point I wanted to put across. I could witter on about this for hours, but it's take all these skills and treat them with conviction and curiosity, but also with flexibility. The likelihood is that we're not going to jump into careers that seem like it's exactly for you at the beginning, but that's okay. We've got a long life ahead of us in a turbulent world, and the only way that we can get through that is by working together and having, creating the arts environment, and making sure that it's healthy for as long as we possibly can. And that is the role of all of you, and you're all incredibly prepared for it already, whether you feel like it or not. And that is mostly what I wanted to talk about. So there we are. Well done, everyone.
The first time I moved into my dorm at the Cornish Commons, it was dreadfully hot. But my beautiful view made it all worth it.
The first time I met the Skinner's ghost.
The first time I used Adobe Illustrator, I almost cried.
The first time I was late for a class because only one elevator in the Commons was working.
The first time I went to a design department Thursday thing.
The first time I stayed up all night playing Just Dance in a classroom.
Try your wings, then try again. What seems a giant leap is not the end. Find your friend. Find your friend. All you need is that one clear night. One shaft of light to know that this is your path. This is your calling. One open door. Do not ignore the adventure it brings. You've been given a chance, and an artist with a chance has wings.
The time everyone crowded in the elevator rushing to the 20th floor to play in 10 seconds of Snowfall.
The time my H&S class got canceled because African drumming class was so loud.
The time in my freshman year, I stayed up every night until 6 a.m., only to wish I could go to bed before midnight from my sophomore to junior year.
The time my friend complained a little too loud about the cafe food while the chef was around the corner. Sorry, David.
The time I heard my play read out loud for the first time.
Try your wings, then try again. What seems a giant leap is not the end. Find your friend. Find your friend. Find your friend. All you need is that one clear night. One shaft of light to know that this is your path. This is your calling. One open door. Do not ignore the adventure it brings. You've been given a chance, and an artist with a chance has wings.
The time I slept on an Airbnb recliner for 2 hours during a film shoot.
The time we made Mr. Friendly keychains in the Fab Lab.
The first time I saw the Writing Center mural.
The time we played on the playground in Seattle Center after tech.
The time I saw a classmate scoop an injured bird out of the middle of the intersection and was reminded how big our artist hearts are.
Try your wings, then try again. What seems a giant leap is not the end. Find your friend, find your friend, find your friend. One clear night, one shaft of light to know that this is your path. This is your calling. One open door, do not ignore the adventure it brings. You've been given a chance, and an artist with a chance has wings.
Wow. Well, thank you so much, Rich Gray, for directing that. And congratulations, thank you so much to all the student performers today. What an amazing group, right? All right, it's time, graduates. Would you all please rise? The state of Washington charters Cornish College of the Arts as an institution of higher education. The Northwest Commission on Colleges and Universities accredits Cornish College of the Arts. This authority is granted by the charter and accreditation and vested in me on behalf of the Board of Trustees. I now confer the Bachelor of Fine Arts degree and the Bachelor of Music degree with all the rights and privileges thereunto appertaining. Congratulations, class of 2025. If you haven't already, take your tassel and move it over to the other side. When you move your tassel, symbolizing the final step in the conferral of your degree, congratulations again. All right, graduates, may your journey be filled with endless possibilities and boundless creativity, unparalleled success. Go forth and shine brightly. This concludes the 51st commencement exercises of the Cornish College of the Arts. We ask our audience to remain in their seats until the completion of the recessional. Thank you all so much, and congratulations again, class of 2025.